All right, ready? I'm Meredith.
I'm Elise, and this is your 20s. Welcome back.
Hey, everybody, did you hear the news? I broke my arm. She broke her arm. Do you really
Is that SNL?
wanna know? Oh, yeah.
Oh,
With
Mare and her SNL.
how I broke my arm.
If anyone listening knows that reference, I do not, and I
It's
apologize.
Emma, what's her name? Emma.
Emma.
Her name is
Emma.
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 No, she's a good one.
She's funny. She's a
She's
funny
an
one.
actress.
I love SNL, though. I need to watch it more. I used to watch it all the time in high school.
It's sometimes like, I feel like it's very hit or miss.
Really?
Sometimes it's like, holy shit, I'm rolling on the ground laughing. Then other times I'm like, nah,
Did.
not for me. Not for
Anyway,
me.
welcome
Yeah.
to This Is Your 20s, Season 2. We are on Season 2.
Yes.
If you are new to the show, thank you for tuning in. This is a podcast to help you with your 20s and help you through every obstacle of your 20s, and we're going to talk about real shit on this show.
Yeah. And so we want to make sure that we are making it very clear what the show is about so that people, when they see our flyers or whatever, they see the name, they're kind of like, oh, it's just two girls chit-chatting about being 20.
Cute.
And that's not it. It's about the issues that you face while you're going through this decade. And those can be very all-encompassing issues, anything and everything. They can be, for example, let's run through the list. What have we talked about? We've talked about faith and spirituality. We've talked about alternative career paths.
Yeah, that's a big theme on the show.
Yeah, entrepreneurship mindset, baby.
Yes.
We've talked
Side
about
hustles.
What else have we talked about? I
Body
forget.
positivity.
Body positivity.
That's a big
Mental
one.
health
Mental
awareness.
health awareness.
Today, we're talking about social media.
And this is a huge topic because, like, let's face it, everyone has social media. Every single person. And, like, if you don't,
Unless you're a hermit.
and if you don't use, like, the mainstream, like, Instagram or, I don't know, Twitter or whatever, you still,
You have a niche for yourself.
you still use, like, something like maybe you're a Reddit person or
Right. Yeah.
you interact with social media in some way. So we are
Yeah.
going to talk about it today.
Yeah, we are. And this is like, I feel like this is kind of a long awaited topic, but also something we kind of touch on in almost every episode that we've talked about. It's so all encompassing that it kind of touches like everything in life in some ways, especially in our modern day world. And so I know it's a big thing that you really strive to work on and use as a platform for your messaging with body positivity. It's something that I've started to try to use for mental health awareness. And obviously, the whole world of the influencer is like a gigantic thing nowadays. Everyone wants to be an influencer.
I can't wait to talk about that. It's
Which-
so interesting to me.
Yeah. And everyone wants, to be, famous based off of living off their phone, which I
Yeah.
don't blame them. I would
Yeah.
want to be that too. That's a great way to make money. And wow, you're living like a dream life.
Yeah.
But obviously, we know that there are a lot of pitfalls to
Yeah.
social media.
We're going to talk about the pros and the cons, the good and the bad, all of it. All of it.
Yes.
Let's start with some.
Also, wait, I would like to make an announcement.
Okay.
I need to start saying like less. I noticed during the Q&A video, I say like so often, and I've noticed myself doing it already. And so if I'm talking slower than normal, it's because I'm trying to contain my likes. It's really hard for me. It's how I talk. It's just how I've talked since I was a young person.
I feel like, see, like it's just so
Yeah.
common. It's just so natural. You know,
Yeah.
like we need filler words to like.
Yeah, and my dad always gets on my ass about it, and he's always like, see, I just did it again. He's always like, don't go into an interview, like cut down on your likes a little bit. And it's so hard for me to do it. And
It is hard. We're trained to do it.
It does make me sound stupider. I hate to admit it, but I was listening to one of our podcasts the other day while I was driving to Indy. I'm like, God, I sound like such a dumbass. And I'm
Mary,
not a
you are
dumbass.
not. Right, you are
I assure
so
you all,
smart.
I'm not a dumbass, but I sound like one. So we're going to work on it. Also,
Self-improvement.
someone said that we need to cuss less. And to that I say, fuck you. We are not going to cuss less.
Oh, My mom is the one who said
Oh my
that.
God,
Love
I'm
you, Mom.
so
Love you,
sorry,
Mom.
Mrs. Haskell. I did not mean that to you personally.
I think there's been a couple episodes where we get like super heated and we just like throw around
it's
words.
just the
We do
way
not
I
mean to
express
offend
myself.
anyone by this language. This is just how we express ourselves. So we apologize if anyone was offended.
Yeah, also, I actually sincerely apologize to Mrs. Haskell. I really wasn't saying fuck. I didn't really realize it was you. I should have said, and to that I say, never.
Instead, we went a different
Fuck
route.
you.
A different route. Love you, Mom. Thanks
All
for
right,
listening.
yes, I love you. Thank you for listening to us.
I love my mom because she's like our biggest fan, and it makes me really
That's
happy.
awesome.
She's like, as soon as an episode drops, she's like, love the episode. She's like,
Aw.
this is great. This was great. This is great. Like we talked about in a previous episode, how it's important how people like point out specific things in our episodes that we talk about.
it's really helpful.
My mom is really good at, like listening all the way through and just like being supportive. So thanks, moms. Love you.
Thank you. I don't think any of my family listens to this podcast.
Yet.
So if you're listening now, I hate you.
This is like months later after this is released. They're like, oh,
Oh,
shit.
shit.
Oh.
Just kidding. Just kind of disappointed, but I'm giving you room to improve. So you're not canceled yet,
Cancel.
but you might be soon.
We are also going to talk about,
Cancel culture.
because it is,
That was like insane. How you just let me do it.
I just stopped because I kind of knew you were just going to take that.
I'm so
but,
sorry.
we're going to talk about a lot of things. Let's dive in.
Let's dive in metaphorically, physically. Wish there was a pool right now. It's beautiful outside.
It is so. Can we talk about the weather really quick before we dive in?
gorgeous.
I mean,
stunning.
by the time-
amazing. Never been done before.
What is that from?
It's like a Lady Gaga
Yes.
quote.
Oh yes, I love that. She's like giving awards or
Yeah,
something.
she's like gorgeous, amazing, life-changing, life-giving, never been done before.
Iconic.
Cannot put words to it. Blah blah. I'm making all of this up, but it's the general gist of the idea. Anyway,
what were we talking about?
metaphorically diving into
Right.
what we're going to talk about.
What are some pros of social media?
Pros.
Let's start positive because there are a lot of
Positivity.
cons.
We need some positivity in this world, don't we? Mm-hmm. It's a negative one we live in these days.
Oh, we were talking about the weather. By the time this drops, it'll be really nice out. So thank goodness.
or
I'm
it'll
done
be
with the
really
cold.
cold because of global warming
Or
and
that.
climate change.
Or that. Or that. Or that.
Sorry, I'm like really
This
angry
is a strange
today.
episode.
Yeah, no, I like it.
All right, here we go.
The dot.
Pros, I have
yeah,
one.
Dot. Okay.
You can connect with so many different types of people with social media. Then that did not exist years ago. But when social media, like Facebook was kind of revolutionary. Who invented Facebook? What's his name?
Mark Zuckerberg.
He had a genius idea. Like I know Facebook has had their run-ins with like privacy issues and advertisements for advertisements and stuff like that. But the main idea of how it all started was to connect people and like keep up with like family and friends. Like that is genius. Like that's such a cool thing that I am able to do. I'm able to keep up with my cousins who live across the country who I haven't talked to, like, but I know they're doing well. And it's cool.
No, I think it's and I think it's amazing. I think it's creates an online communal space that was never been done before. It makes life a lot more convenient, but then on the flip side of that, I think that's dangerous as well because it kind of encourages people to isolate themselves because they don't need to go out anymore and meet up with those people to see them. So they just say, "Oh, I'll just do it over chat or I'll post a status update," and that's good. And then family reunions or any sort of one-on-one communication is just
They're different, yeah.
It's just not really a thing anymore.
Yeah. So a con would be you can completely make up who you are online, and that can be really hurtful to like yourself as a person and like your identity and your God complex. Yeah. Like I feel like everyone has to have a God complex to have any type of following on social media. They have to
think that they have something special.
Yeah. Which is not a bad thing. I think everyone should think they have something special and something to give to this world. But you need to like kind of be on your high horse. And I don't think that's always good for, everyone to be competing to be on the highest horse.
It's incredibly mentally draining. And
especially for young kids who like have the apps. Like we started getting Instagram like in middle school.
I think I got my Instagram when I was in 8th grade.
Yeah. And think of how, what's the word I'm looking for? it's like vulnerable or just like very impressionable. That's the word. Think of how impressionable we are at that age. And we believe
That's
anything
terrible.
that we see. And when we see someone like the highlight reel on their Instagram, and we see someone like where it looks like they're living their best life. Drake literally has a song about it.
Yeah.
And it's completely false to like maybe what their reality is. Like that can mess with a lot of young minds.
Yeah. Well, I think to myself, I'm impressionable as it is now, and I'm 22 years old. So
Definitely.
I can't. And your brain is not fully developed till you're 25 years old.
That's crazy to me, first of all.
Right. No, it's insane because everything that you're doing, I think I have my shit together now, but in reality, that could change. Like my perception of myself and what I think I know could definitely change in 3 years when I'm actually fully developed. But yeah, I'm thinking the 8th grade Meredith didn't know what the fuck was going on ever. I was literally just flying by the seat of my pants hoping for the best. I mean, I was being told where to go, what to do, what to wear.
I showed up for school every day.
I did that. And then the only freedom that you really have from the life you're living as a kid under supervision is to go on social media, and then you can create a world for yourself.
Yeah.
And I think it could potentially be really a positive thing for some people who struggle
to express themselves.
Yeah, who struggle socially, maybe in person, have trouble making friends. I think those online communities can be possibly very healthy for those people and a good outlet. And I think it can also help people that are struggling with self-expression and maybe gender identity or their sexual identity or who they are, how they express themselves. That's maybe not accepted in an outside world. There is most definitely somewhere on the internet a niche community that you can find,
you can relate to,
you can
have a family,
and start to make yourself the person that you've always wanted to be on the inside. And I think that's amazing because I'm thinking of all of the kids, even when we were growing up, who were perhaps struggling with their sexual identity or gender identity or whatever it may be, and
because
had
maybe
literally no outlet.
Right. Then maybe their family's not supportive, their friends that like aren't supportive, or they just have no idea.
Right.
Like it's good that you can find a group of like-minded people who understand and are going through the same thing, and you're like, wow, other people are going through the same thing. Like, I'm okay.
Right.
That's a really good point.
Yeah. But it does worry me as well at that young of an age, because then there's also the other flip side of it where it can be dangerous. I mean, the internet can be very exploitative. I mean, like when I was younger, and I can remember when I was first getting my Facebook and my AIM and all of those accounts. Yeah. My mom was like a hawk watching over me. I mean, she was very nervous because that was in the time where the understanding of social media and privacy was that was like the biggest fear about social media, which privacy, I feel like now we don't even give a flying fuck. I'll friend anyone. Post anything. Someone will friend request me. I'm like, who is
that's
this?
So funny because we were so paranoid, and our parents made us paranoid that like all our information out there is like someone's gonna get us and stuff. I remember feeling that way like when I got my Facebook.
That was the biggest fear of social media, and now it's creating a false life that people are trying to live up to in their real lives, and it's causing anxiety and depression and mental health issues and all of the things kids under the sun for young people because they don't realize that is not what's actually happening.
But I will say, I think social media has changed in the past, like probably 2 years even, to a more accepting culture rather than like, remember like the era of cyberbullying? How many movies were made about cyberbullying? And just like, everyone talked about cyberbullying in schools, all the posters, like don't cyberbully. I feel like cyberbullying is like kind of not gone. Obviously it still exists in a different way, I think.
Yeah.
But cyberbullying might be cancel culture. We should talk about that. But cyberbullying used to be a really big problem, and now I feel like we have, maybe it's a maturity thing, maybe it's our generation and younger generations can't relate to this, what I'm about to say, but our generation I feel like has really done a good job at promoting accepting culture. And I think like exposing the exposure of different types of people on social media helps society as a whole. Because like what's the biggest problem with like any type of conflict? it's miscommunication and like a lack of understanding.
Yeah.
So the fact that they can expose who they actually are and people can see that, I think that helps. I think that helps with like how many different people groups there are, and understanding like what's actually maybe like adding empathy to these people and like these people groups who usually in society wouldn't be accepted.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, I think we see that with the body positivity movement very heavily.
I literally just gave a speech about it.
Yeah.
Because there's a big movement, obviously with body positivity and plus size models, but there's also been a bad side to that where it's like body shaming in a way where it's like you're promoting American obesity and a lifestyle of unhealthiness, but your size literally does not guarantee how healthy you are. Like that's just like an ignorant comment to make to someone who's a bigger body.
Yeah.
Like they are not like the same. Your size and your health are not coherent.
I think there are some exceptions to that though.
Definitely.
Like I think that there are some very heavily plus size models that are just like, it's just morbid obesity, and I hate to say that, but you're kind of like, okay, I think there's a difference.
The point is they love who they are, and I think that's more important. But I see what you're saying.
No, I definitely, yeah. And we talked about this in the body positivity. You can still love who you are on the journey of becoming a healthier person.
True.
And so I think that is what's empowering there. I think it's saying, hey, maybe I'm not in the shape that I want to be in right now, or I'm not even going to say the shape. I'm not at a health level internally that I want to be in right now. But I'm going to love myself along the way of getting there.
And that's
important. Think that's the true meaning of that.
Yeah.
I think that's, people need to not conflate the two, you know? And I don't see a lot of that happening though. I don't think that's a huge problem. Like I think for the most part, it's so loving and accepting, and some of the followers some of the girls that I follow, like Iskra Lawrence, you know her? She's like,
I've heard the name.
She was the face of like the Aerie Real campaign.
Love that. Yes, yeah. Aerie. Good job.
So I absolutely love her because she's obviously a plus size model, but she always kind of shows like the before pictures that she had at the start of her career in the modeling industry.
Wow.
And she was really, really unhealthily thin because she was, you know, in the modeling industry, and she had to be. But she was physically just genetically not built to be that way. And I think a lot of the models, the skinny girls in the industry, are just genetically, I mean, obviously it's riddled with eating disorders, but most of the time you're just genetically built that way.
Yeah.
Your bone structure is that way.
So much of it is genetics.
So much of it is genetics. And so she kind of forced herself to become a size that she just was never meant to be. Mm-hmm. And now she's at a very healthy weight for her body type, looks unreal, looks amazing.
Mm-hmm. And I bet she's happy.
She's happier
in her body.
Well, and it's just the before and after, just showing that it's not all about what you look like on the outside that determines
your
how
health.
you feel on the inside.
Yeah.
You know, she was talking about how she was miserable when she was that skinny because she was obviously, you know, restricting herself to the point where she wasn't even living a full life at all. And now she's in the body that she's meant to be in. And I just think that's a beautiful, I don't know, I think it's a beautiful thing. And I also think it's a beautiful thing that girls are willing to show a weight loss journey, and that's important to them too. And the health accounts on Instagram, I don't love the health accounts, but I like the idea behind them that like, here I am, you can follow me. It's so easy to get healthy just by the click of your phone. You don't need a trainer, just you can. I have a plan for you.
Yeah. I learned a lot about like lifting from watching videos. Like social media is such a good
it's a
platform for
resource.
learning. Yeah. Like all the videos on like how to, and I feel like influencers, like they promote that. Like they post, like say a fitness model or fitness guru who posts like lifting videos, like you're teaching young girls, you know, who may stumble across a video form, which is cool. Like that's literally how I learned half of like form and stuff and how to kind of weight lift. But I think social media can be such a good thing. And I think it's only like toxic for people who aren't maybe open-minded or aren't willing to use social media in a beneficial way.
Yeah. Well, and we talked about this in the episode with beauty standards too, especially with kids. So and I think part of it is the people that don't understand social media are often the people that just cannot grasp onto the concept that it is not real life. It is a highlight reel, and so they take everything at
Too
face
seriously.
value.
Yeah.
And it cannot be taken that way. It must be taken with a grain of salt.
Everything, every post, every
It has to be. And then I think when people can realize like, oh, this is just a little tiny bit of someone's life, and that does not mean that they are living a better life than me, and that I'm not pretty enough, or I'm not cool enough,
Right.
or I'm not doing enough interesting things, and I
Right.
need to change who I am
FOMO.
as a person.
Social media has
No.
created
Yeah.
FOMO.
I think once people can realize that, then I think it's pretty much all beneficial from there. But realizing that it comes with time, and unfortunately comes with some collateral damage of people just kind of having to go through that realization, which is not a fun realization.
Yeah.
I had to get rid of social media for a while, or learn to put it away, because the comparison game for me was so toxic at the beginning of college for me, especially when I was seeing people posting, it's all about angles, it's all about lighting, it's all about, some people Facetune. And it's just like, we cannot.
We need to talk about that topic. We need to talk about girls editing their pictures and how to handle that, because a lot of people, like Meredith, obviously we're not going to say any names, but Meredith and I came across a post a couple days ago of a girl where it was just very obvious. It was completely photoshopped, like edited, and it didn't even look anything close to real. It was a picture of a girl in a bikini, and it just kind of, a bit of me gets really sad when I see stuff like that, because I understand that mindset. I understand not being fully in love with like how your body looks, and wanting to post a fire picture, and wanting to get those likes, and wanting to get, like, every girl wants
every girl's been there.
Bomb ass picture and put it up and feel good, So the fact that she is editing means that she doesn't feel comfortable with how the picture turned out, and she wants to fix it and still post it and feel good about it. So don't go at those girls with hatred. Don't screenshot and post on Twitter because it's funny. That's not a joke. Like, that's not a funny joke. That is someone's insecurity.
You're perpetuating
This is what you do.
it.
You look at the picture, you like it, and you move on with your fucking day.
Yeah.
Like, you move on.
Yeah.
You don't harass women who do that, because they obviously have something else going on that's bigger than what they're posting.
Absolutely. And that's only going to perpetuate their insecurities. They're going to feel the need to do it more, find a more realistic way to do it, whatever. And the thing is, it takes a very strong woman to be like, this is me, this is my cellulite, these are my stretch marks, my rolls, this is all of it, and not touch your picture at all. Unapologetically takes a very brave person to do that.
Definitely.
And not everybody is there yet.
Yeah.
And that is okay.
And
maybe they won't ever get there.
Yeah.
And that is also okay.
Yeah.
Leave them the fuck alone.
Help them with their journey. Yeah.
Help them in person. If they need help, if they're struggling in person, and you hear those insecurities, you lift another woman up and you tell them that you are beautiful. It is fine to be where you are right now.
Yes.
You don't encourage them to do anything, don't encourage them to edit their pictures, of course.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But don't
make fun of it. Don't
make fun of it in person, and don't make fun of it on social media, because all that's going to do is invite a bunch of other people to join in on the hate, because we all know with social media is very groupthink culture.
Yeah.
So if one person jumps on the bandwagon, that's all it takes for a couple of people to be like, oh, there's my invitation to dive right in, and that's not healthy. Obviously.
That is literally cancel culture. We need to talk about it.
Yeah.
Because I feel like people are realizing that cancel culture is actually really toxic. Like, we are all humans. We all fuck up. We're all learning. We're all growing.
Yeah.
You cannot say when one person fucks up that they are canceled, that everything they do is invalid for the rest of their life.
Right. No, it's
that
so
just
messed
is
up.
so, you look dumb if you say that about someone else.
Because I'm sorry, but are you a perfect human being?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't realize that you've never fucked up.
Yeah. Are you sinless? Like, I'm sorry. Like, are you Jesus himself reincarnated? No, you are not. So, I mean, unless maybe you are. I don't know. But
you could be. Anything's possible.
Yeah, but it's sad, because you see, even like, we hold, like, for example, influencers. I watch a lot of YouTube, so we hold these influencers to this standard, and it's brave for them to put their life online. Most of them are making money from it, so I mean, it's not that hard to be brave at a
When
certain point
it's
if
your
you're
job.
making millions from it. But the point is, they're people too. They fuck up. They make mistakes. They are human.
Yeah.
And for everyone to jump on board and invalidate their existence essentially is so sad and scary.
That is so scary. That is scary.
Because not only is that their livelihood and their income, but that's literally just how they view their validation and existence in the world.
Yeah. And what you do with those people is like, even if you don't have like direct access to them, you educate them in any way. How, like, if someone messes up, you educate them, and this is where what you went wrong, like this is where you need to fix it. There you go. Like, don't, like, there just needs to be less hatred and like jumping to conclusions on social media.
Messaging of it all.
It's messy.